Hello there, welcome back to the channel. If you remember, in February I teased an idea which I called it story mode riding, and I finally got to put some thoughts together and realize that I wanted to start from the beginning because I was having difficulties in starting this series. It took me almost a month, if I'm not mistaken. So this is the first episode of story mode riding. Let's go. I was in this very spot when I first saw a bicycle in my life. I was out with my grandfather on a sunny spring day like it is now. So here I was on my tricycle in front of my grandfather, and this kid who was older than me back then. I was 3 years old, and he came with a bike on this very alley right here and passed me. And then when I looked at him, he did this. I didn't understand what he was doing. He was doing it to keep his balance, but I started doing it on my tricycle. And my grandfather said to me, "Don't you worry, you'll get plenty of time to get there. You just learn to ride this tricycle." And that was my first contact, as I know of and remember of, that I saw a bicycle in my life. You can almost say it was love at first sight. It was right here on this very street where I first got my taste of freedom on a bicycle. In general, at that time I was 4 years old, and my grandfather taught me how to ride my bike. So he would assist me by holding me by the saddle and even running beside me when I picked up speed. But on that very day I thought that I went kind of fast for him to keep up with me. And when I looked back and saw that I was riding my bicycle unassisted, he yelled at me, "Don't look back, keep on pedaling and look forward." Yeah, and that was my first experience of going unassisted on my bike, which by the way I forgot to mention was a Romanian brand called Pegas, which was made in the city of Zărnești. In this fenced off area right here was a trail, a dirt trail. This is where I got my first taste of off-road riding on my Pegas bike. It's a short dirt trail leading to a bigger space where we would meet other kids to play. This was one of the first sidewalks I've ever ridden. Once I got out of the neighborhood and headed to the world on my bicycle. Yeah, I know it sounds a lot to me saying the world, but that's what it felt to me at that time. As you know, when you're a kid, everything is much bigger. This was one of my favorite sidewalks to ride on because as you can see, it's very wide. I had a lot of space to maneuver and even turn. I had, like most people, problems with turning when I was first started to ride, but it got better. The more I've ridden my bike, the more experience I got. There's a ton of people. I have no idea what they're doing here, but it's nice to swerve. Putting my skills to the test. Let's cross the street here. Maybe we'll catch that light on green. Yeah, Dad, we did. This is another street on which I would spend my time riding my bike when I was 5 to 6 years old, not that many cars as you see now. This was one of the first downhill slopes I got to ride when I learned to ride better. I then went on this dirt path. This is the first park in which I've ridden my Pegasus bike back then when I was only 4 years old. Of course, my grandfather was with me. I was but a little child, couldn't let me go unsupervised. It was fun for me being away from home. Remember, I told you, and you know for yourself, that when you're a small kid, everything seems bigger. So I was amazed that every leaf and every tree was new to me. I was riding on these parks, alleys. This park was called Herestro when I was a little kid, up until a few years back. Now it's called King Michael I, in honor of the last king that Romania had. You might remember this park from a previous video. I'm gonna link it below if you're interested in this sort of park exploration. If you remember, in that video we went up on this, but from that other side, and we went down from here and just went in that direction and exited the park. A made up ghetto construction of some dirt jumps. I'm not good at dirt jumping. You can convince yourself by watching another of my videos where I went into a forest and I found some dirt jumps built there. I'll link it below and you can watch it. But let's continue our story with a small hill bomb. Strap your seatbelts on. Yeah, that was that. A small hill bomb. Beautiful spring day. Nature is waking up. I'm riding into headwind as I speak. The breeze from the lake. Yeah, let's get back to the story of how I got into cycling. So this is another route that I would take when I grew a little bit older, and enjoyed these alleys in this park. I would go around the lake. I had a lot of fun cruising these alleys. The next spot I wanted to show you was this railway bridge, and what luck do we have? There's a train passing. Yeah, and regarding this bridge, I used to take the route from way down here. I was a little bit older by this point, and I used to climb from down here, take my bicycle all the way. And this is a modern version of the bridge that used to exist back then. And yeah, I used to cross that bridge over the water here and go on that other side. You can imagine, for a 5-year-old kid, is quite an achievement. So I was really glad about it. Now there's a convenient bridge for people to walk and bike across, built by the army. I was about 6 years old when I discovered this very street, and I was riding on my Pegasus very proudly, but thinking to myself, wow, I've gone so far. In reality, I've just ridden kind of like 15 minutes away from my neighborhood. At the end of the street, I saw trams, and I thought to myself, wow, I went so far, I got into another city. And that was an interesting thing. just to put into perspective how you are perceiving things when you're a small child. Now it seems like nothing to me to come and yeah, be on this very street. But every time I come on this street, I remember that thing. And every place that I went to in this video has a memory attached to it. Every time I passed on those very spots, I remember this very spot right here across the road used to have a barrier way back in the 90s when I was a kid, and I was exploring with my grandfather. Was guarded with armed soldiers, but as you can see, not anymore. I also got the explorer itch from my grandfather, who was sort of an explorer himself, mostly on foot. Yeah, I know I talked a lot about my grandfather in this video because I owe this love of cycling in part to him. He was the one who took the time to teach me how to ride a bike, and I've never been off it since then. On this very trail, which I remember coming with my grandfather, and my bicycle was not that overgrown back then, and we got up this stair. After we climbed that stair back there, we ended up at this train station, BANEASA train station. I did a time lapse here, you can find it also in the description. And as I was saying before, I owed much of my love for exploring and cycling in part to my grandfather, which planted these things in me since I was a little kid. So this first video in this series is dedicated to my grandfather. May he rest in peace up there in heaven. And as I said this, the sun came up. I love you wherever you are. Do me a favor, push that like button if you like the content. Subscribe if you haven't, and stay tuned, because then in the next episode I will tell you how I got into professional cycling. But until then, this was it for the first episode. Drop whatever thought you have in the comments down below. I thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Take care. Bye bye.